Hi, this is Dr. Stephen Evans with Outclick Magazine, and we are so excited to bring in first John Hayden, who is one of our writers who's going to help us, and Ta-Tynisa Wilson, who will be at the Broward Center for the Performing Arts June 7th through June 22nd, 2025 in The Bodyguard. Now, they asked me to play the lead role and sing, but I said I just don't have time. But anyway, we're so glad to have you. Tell us about this amazing show. But first of all, welcome to South Florida and welcome to Slow Burn Theater. It is one of my favorite things to see at the Broward Center. But welcome, welcome, welcome. How has your experience been so far?
Honestly, amazing. I mean, you can't beat the weather. So it's been incredible. We've already had our first week of rehearsals and it's been going really well.
Yes, that's good. So, what is your? Will this be your first time performing in South Florida at the Broward Center?
Yes, I'm so excited making my Broward Center debut and I'm so excited.
Now, what's been your favorite part so far of being down here in South Florida? You're starting in the Bodyguard, but tell me about this show. Tell us about what it's going to be like. It's not. I mean, it's the show of shows, but tell us about it if you can.
Honestly, I didn't know what to expect when I first walked into rehearsal. And I am working with some of the most talented people I have ever imagined working with. It's going to be great. If you're looking for a good time, you are going to be constantly in your seat grooving because there's just some classic hits by Whitney Houston. And there's a little drama, love triangle, if you will. And yeah, it's going to be your, I don't even know how to explain it. It's just going to be like your favorite Netflix show, but right in front of you live.
I've got a question. How does I've obviously I was just a nascent little gay boy when The Bodyguard came out back in the day. But I have not seen the stage version. How do they differ, and what are the similarities?
So the differences are that this book has all of Whitney Houston's music in it, like most of it. Most of her classic hits are in this show. And in The Bodyguard, you hear her singing some of the songs, and there might be one or two that she may sing from her repertoire, but this show is all of her music. Like it's basically Whitney Houston retitled as Rachel Marin. So you get to hear all of her classics, which is awesome. And then some of the similarities is the book is pretty much the same. A lot of the writing is very similar. A lot of it is the same. So you're going to get that story that you're used to from back in 1992. I believe that's when it came out. But you're going to get with her music, which is really fun.
Yep. I tell you, I have seen it. I've heard performances there, and some people they can turn into a dance floor. I anticipate this show is going to do that. So I tell people just come out and dance and sing. Of course, she's got phenomenal music that I think Whitney Houston is one of those that in 100 years we're still going to hear it playing somewhere.
Absolutely.
It's music like that. It's music like that. Yeah. You were an American Idol finalist. Tell us about the journey. I mean, how absolutely fantastic. I can't even imagine. I mean, literally, I can't sing at all. I mean, I was so bad. I was in Lexington Singers for a year. I sang one song, and he looks up at me and goes, "How long have you played the organ? We're short on tenors. You can get in." That's how bad it was. So tell us about that. What was that like for a minute, if you don't mind?
Gosh, it was a whirlwind. American Idol is just one of those things that's so fast paced that it feels like a dream. It's happening so quickly. Met some of the greatest people, some of my closest friends in that competition, but also had some devastating times as you know, going through a competition, seeing people that you know and care about go just in a snack. But it was incredible. It was really great. It was very challenging in so many different ways. And I learned so much about myself, about my voice, about my talent, and what kind of artist I wanted to become and what I wanted to put out in the world. Yeah, it was a very beautiful experience for me, for sure.
I remember your season, Scotty's season, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that was such a fun year. But across every season, there was a universal warning that came up from the judges. There are certain people you don't sing, or Celine being one of them. and Whitney Houston being one of them, because they're such big voices. Obviously, you've graduated. It's been a minute since then, but there's still got to be something down, like right in your gut that goes, okay, this is the challenge of a lifetime.
It is. It's definitely a challenge of a lifetime. You know, what's interesting is that I auditioned singing Whitney Houston for my audition for American Idol. And that's what got me through to get my golden ticket. And Whitney Houston is actually, her music is just very, very dear and close to me. I grew up singing her. My mom was obsessed with Whitney Houston, still is, and would have me singing her around the house just on cleaning Saturdays, blasting Whitney Houston music. And my mom's like, sing it, you know? So Whitney Houston has just been a part of my life since I was a really young age. So
yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Well, it's. I know it'll be a great show. What do you think? What do you hope audiences will take away from the production?
Honestly, a good time. I want them to leave the show and say, man, I forget how good Whitney Houston was. I forget how good her lyrics was. I forget how good her music was. And I just want them to feel good after leaving the show. It's such a beautiful, heartfelt story with a love triangle, a woman battling, you know, being on the forefront, but also trying to care for her child and her family, and, you know, just trying to navigate through all of these interesting circumstances. It's an incredible show, and I hope that people love the story and the music.
Yeah. I Will Always Love You. Is that in there? Am I allowed to ask that question?
I think you can ask that question. At least I'll tell it to you. Yes, it is.
Yes,
Not in a way that you
and
first
we
expect
know,
it, for sure, but it is in there.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh.
And
Yes.
I always ask people who wrote it. Does anybody remember who wrote it? And what movie was it first in?
That's a
Dolly
good question. Dolly Parton.
Dolly Parton
was the original. Yes.
Yep.
Movie.
And
What movie was first in then?
not many people remember she sang it to Burt Reynolds in The Best Little Something Else in Texas.
Oh, wow.
Ah.
I completely forgot that. Score, Stephen.
Okay.
Yep, that's always a movie trivia. Yeah.
Nice.
Most people
Smart.
My uncle's a staunch Baptist, and he would not say that word, so he called it the best little warehouse in Texas. So I thought that was funny. But again, that's Slow Burn Theater is this is the Slow Burn website. If you've not signed up for their season tickets, there is not. I don't want to say it's not a bad show. How do you say it? Every show is phenomenal. Every show is over the top, well done, amazing. You're never going to be disappointed at a Slow Burn show, ever. They are, not only are their shows amazing, their company is amazing to work with. The entire troupe, it is a family. It is just a phenomenal group of people to work with. And yes, their shows are unbelievable on top of that. And again, this one is the show of shows. We are so glad to have you today and talking about The Bodyguard. Again, it is June 7th through June 22nd at the Broward Center for the Performing Arts. And that is 2025, in case anyone is listening to this later on in next year. So,
but hopefully you'll be back. Hopefully you'll be back in something.
I know. That'd be
great.
Right?
Yes. Yes.
I got a question, because I know you're already down here.
Yes.
And obviously the show is important. You have to treat your instrument correctly, but you've got to get out sometimes. Do you ever hit up local cabaret bars? Because we've got a couple great ones. We've got Pub, we've got West End, where sometimes visiting artists will come and just pop up and do a number after a show. Do you ever do that? And do you think you might pop up in our neighborhood?
I would love to. If you guys send me more information, let me know. I would love to do that. You just let me know. I'll be there.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
There you go. Is there anything we didn't cover that you wanted us to ask that you wanted to add before we finish out?
No, I think you guys hit everything. Again, I think that the show is incredible. I'm working with incredible people. The company is amazing, like you said. This has probably been one of the best theatrical experiences I've ever had being here at Broward. But come see the show. That's all.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Thank you for joining us today, and thank you for being a part. And we are super excited. I can already hear the music in my head and in my ears. So. All right, everybody. Again, thank you again. One more last time is put it up here. Here we go. Well, I had it up here. Maybe not. At a stage. Here we go. The Bodyguard, Slow Burn Theater, June 7th through June 22nd, 2025 at the Broward Center for the Performing Arts. And we are always thankful to have them and everyone as part of the Upclick family. I'm Dr. Stephen, John Hayden, and Ta-Tynisa. I messed her name up. I said I wasn't going to do that. Ta-Tynisa Wilson. Thank you so much. And everyone, have a great evening. Be blessed. And we will see you at the show.
And,
thank you so much. John?
And Ta-Tynisa, I will always love you.
Oh, I will always love you too.
Have a good night, everyone. Bye-bye.